want you to be our guest in New York at our show coming February the 15th and 16th. Basically, Kids at Play takes kids and technology and puts it into context, and in a month and a half, we take it to a deeper level at Digital Kids, where we explore best practices and lessons learned while we're moving forward the business of Digital Kids. And now I'm going to introduce my panel. I'm very excited to bring to the stage Takahagi, who is not only a software man, but a hardware man, and I would say a new friend of mine for the last 2 years. Come to the stage, Aki.
Thank you.
Oh, that was me. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, have a seat. So Aki is with Moff, and they've been doing some amazing work in the last year. They are one of our winners of the CAPI Awards for Best Hardware, and we're very excited to have Aki share more with us today.
So first of all, let me introduce ourselves. So Moff is a maker of award-winning wearable smart toy, a Moff Band. And the Moff Band is the first wearable toy, and combines Bluetooth and accelerometer and gyroscope to recognize my 3D motions.
Aki, do you have something you want to share with us today?
Yeah. So
You want me to run the video?
yes.
Okay.
So no. It's okay.
Hello, everyone.
Stop. Okay.
Yeah. So sorry.
Rewind.
Yeah. Okay. So now we are excited to announce the first collaboration with Bandai Namco Entertainment, lead company in game publishing and entertainment. And Bandai Namco Entertainment and Moff are excited to announce the previewing Pac-Man powered by Moff. So please watch the video message from CEO of Bandai Namco Entertainment.
Hello, everyone. My name is Oshita. I'm the president of Bandai Namco Entertainment. Moff Band, this original, unique, and new technology. It makes a good match with our Pac-Man. We're much encouraged to make a lot more fun. I'm excited with Moff. So everyone here, we are a team with Moff. I'd be grateful for your support.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we are excited because Pac-Man is a very powerful brand, and our goal is for us to keep kids moving. So actually, nowadays kids easily to access to the mobile and the tablet. However, unfortunately, they end up spending too much time looking at the screens. So we strongly believe kids more active. That's why we want to play more interactive play, even as game Pac-Man. So let me show you our demos.
Okay, so
Which is okay?
you see it right down there.
Oh no. Can you? Okay. Yes. Oh. And up. Wow.
Thank you, Aki.
Yeah.
We appreciate your demo. And next, we're going to keep this moving as fast as we can. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit of time. We've had such a turnout of great products that are wowing us today. We've got to split this up into 2 really quick 20-minute sessions, so please bear with us. Next, I welcome to the stage Nick I knew I was going to do it. I'm sorry, Nick. Nick Beliaeff.
Yeah.
With Spin Master, one of the most innovative toy companies we have around. And Nick comes with a 25-year space in the video game industry, and he is re-envisioning what Spin Master is doing today. Nick, can you share a little bit?
Sure, thanks for the intro. I run Spin Master Studios, which is the software development arm of Spin Master, and our core charter is to bridge the gap between physical play patterns and digital play patterns. So I think we all know kids are moving to video games at an earlier and earlier age, and we're trying to find ways to extend that. And in this, with our AirHogs Connect augmented reality brand, with our Rescue Force product, we're mixing augmented reality and video game play to create a deeper experience. If you please roll the video. Thank you. I think some of the key things here are you use your mobile device, whether it's a phone or a tablet, to fly. Our core state is hover. And we spawn this augmented reality universe. We really turn your room into a science fiction universe.
Nick, do you mind me asking, while we're watching this awesome video, what would you say is one of the biggest challenges today in the toy industry as well as consumer electronics?
It's maintaining engagement with the kids, right? They're very fickle. They're very sophisticated. They know a lot more, I think, than we did when we were kids. They're a lot more savvy and aware. And so it's finding ways to engage them in meaningful ways that are meaningful to them, because they're very self-directed.
Bringing that relationship in.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nick.
Pleasure.
Now we're going to bring to the stage Debbie Heimowitz with Square Panda. Debbie comes from the TV world. We have video game, we have software, hardware, and now we have somebody from the TV space that is all focused on kids and tech. If that doesn't tell you something, I think it should. Debbie, thank you for joining us. And Debbie is with Square Panda, and I'm going to let her talk a little bit more about what they're doing. But I think that everyone on this stage brings together connected play, and I think they do it in a smart way. And Debbie, we're going to let you talk about the learning aspects of that.
Great. Thank you so much, Tonda. We're really, really excited to be here. We just launched on Monday. You might have heard Andre Augusty's name associated with Square Panda, so if you came to see him today, I'm really sorry. He has done a very generous partnership to help bring early reading and early literacy into the hands of kids throughout the country by leveraging the power of the iPad and turning it into a phonics play set. So I'm going to show you guys a video to talk more about Square Panda.
When was the first time you learned that square rhymes with bear, which rhymes with fair? It's no wonder kids pull their hair out trying to learn to read. That's why we developed Square Panda, a revolutionary way for children to learn the basic skills necessary to become competent at reading and have fun while they learn. Square Panda is an iPad accessory with physical, tactile letters that communicate to the iPad via a low-energy Bluetooth link. These letters come to life with an array of games that let children explore the relationship between letters and sounds and how different combinations create different words. The visually rich, cloud-based library is adaptable, giving parents the ability to input their own names and pictures through our mobile app, making the learning experience personal and more memorable. Working behind the scenes is a diagnostic engine that measures each child's individual progress, challenges, preferences for game types, and patterns of play, and informs our apps as to which of the 14 curriculum levels is appropriate for your child at any point in time. Square Panda analyzes your child's reading development, enabling you to fuel their learning with additional resources. Reading is often said to be the key to all learning, but it's also the key to a world of cats and hats, hobbits, sleeping beauties, and a world of magic. Our mission at Square Panda is to unlock that world of wonder.
So Debbie, I know that you have teachers on your staff. I know Jen Claire with Teachers with the Apps, and that's wonderful to have somebody with her knowledge to be able to help build your product. Do you plan on taking it into schools, or is it for consumer use, or what's your plan?
Yeah, we actually have pilot programs going here in Las Vegas in 14 Creative Kids Learning Centers, as well as preschools in the Silicon Valley. So we have offices here in Sunnyvale and in Las Vegas. So we're already doing pilot programs in a number of schools right now, and we have pilot programs going on in homes too, to evaluate the home and school use of the product.
Thank you all. I know this is really, really short, but does anyone have any questions? Because we need to wrap it up so we can add the next three people to our 6-person panel. Yes? This gentleman just said, is there any way for the telecommunications business to come into the connected world? Could anyone speak to that?
Can I? Yeah.
Please.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
think
So I have. Yeah. So now we are discussion with telecommunication companies, and especially so our Moff is so it's a kind of, we have a Moff band, but the important is apps. And now we are discussion with subscription model apps. So, and this subscription model is good for telecommunications. So that's why, so subscription app will be good for telecommunication company.
Yeah. I think also so much of the products these days are really driven by sort of a sense of community around the project, around the toy, right? And so finding a safe social place online where people can upload videos of what they played or things like that. You know, obviously you have to go through a telecommunications provider to do that, but I think that there's generally a community around all of these things.
Definitely, Reyne will speak to it more, but StickBots, I mean, it's a $5.99 little toy, but it's the community that makes it digital. I agree. Thank you so much.
That was easy.
Wow.
Thanks.
If you have any more questions, they'll be in the room, and if we can wait till after the full panel, it'd be great. You can meet them in the front of the room or the back of the room. That'd be great. Thank you. Thank you
so
all.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. That's us again. Okay. Okay, I'm going to welcome to the stage Beth Marcus, who, all I can say is Beth always comes up with the best questions only a genius could ask, and she can answer them as well. Beth, thank you for joining us, and can you tell us a little bit about Gazintu?
Sure. In a minute, I'm going to show you a video of kids, which kind of speaks louder than I can. I've been around this kind of technology, robotics, and feedback since I brought the Sidewinder to market in the 1990s, which brought force feedback to all of your homes. If anybody has one, wave your hand and say, woo. My company was bought by Microsoft, and we're taking all that technology, bringing it forward, putting it inside of toys and controls to bring them to life, to hook them to tablets, to let kids run around and play games. And Gazintu is the core. We want to be the Intel inside of the Toys to Life generation of products. So if you're making those and those gestures and force feedback are driving you nuts, we have all that technology and we can deploy it for you. So why don't we run the video? What you're going to see is a game that we put together. You have, each one gets a controller, they can do gestures, they get points for doing gestures in this game, and it's kind of a cross between Simon and Twister. They run around the room, and each one of those orbs, which you'll see later, has a color, and they run to their orb and they do a gesture and they get points for doing that gesture. And every time they get a point, they feel vibration in their hand, which fusing the sensors The sensory feedback from visual, auditory, and tactile is really important to giving an experience that's engaging to kids. This is a paint app, basically Jackson Pollock by waving your hands around. And it's inherently multiplayer. You can play by yourself or you can play with lots of kids together. And there's no friction in walking into the game. If you have a Gazintu device and you have an app, it knows it and it lets you into the game. So it's a social playing and social gaming experience for kids as well. So this is our first demonstration that we've shown this publicly. And in a second, you're going to hear what some of the kids have to say about it, and then you can ask questions. Or maybe you want to ask a question until the kids come.
Sure, sure.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
It's supposed to be 3 seconds in between.
My favorite thing about the game was that I got to collect points and beat my little sister. That was my favorite part.
We got lots of other feedback about what they like to do, but they do like collaborating and playing, which was really an important lesson to us.
Talking about lessons learned, I think Gazintu has a lot of potential as a piece of technology that can go into any toy. It can also be a learning tool. Can you speak to that?
Sure. I mean, think about it. If you want to communicate by moving, if you want to give feedback, you can put this into any product that you want to use to teach kids things because they're getting feedback from multiple senses all at the same time. And our job at Playrific is to make that easy for software developers and brands and hardware makers.
Thank you, Beth. I'm going to bring our next guest.
Oh, and you can see it if you stay for the cocktail party. You can play yourself.
Oh, wonderful. Sal, I'm going to introduce you next. With Steve. Okay. So I've got a father and son duo coming to the stage. I'm very excited. Sal comes from the consumer electronics industry and has been in the toy industry for the last 12 years. I think that's another example of great cross-pollination of this group. And Sal, you have a drone for us to see, and with all the fun stuff that's going on in the industry today, can you speak to what your thoughts are on the FAA and the drone, or do you want to show us the drone first?
Yes, the FAA. We love the FAA. Well, you know, I was actually on the TIA committee that, you know, we were lobbying the FAA for easier control after a little bit of the hysteria that happened with, you know, and I guess it was well-founded in the sense that, you know, you fly a drone into the White House, you know, that is a problem, and you fly a drone in front of a 737, that is a problem. But at the end of the day, in our business, at least what we do, we make toys, you know. So the people who are buying the $1,500 drones and flying them near airports are irresponsible, without a doubt. But the technology exists out there that, you know, drones, sophisticated drones, would not be able to fly near an airport. I own one of those drones where it won't even turn on if it's within a certain parameter from the airport. So that's what needs to happen in the industry, not regulation that nobody really is going to follow. So.
Right, and the toy industry is what Sal was talking about, and just so you know, you can find any of their drones in any of the big box stores, from Kohl's to Walmart to
Toys R
Us, anywhere.
Yeah.
You want to show us what you got?
Sure. So we introduced at the show a couple of new items. One of them is what we call the pocket drone. So I just pulled it out of my pocket. You pull it out of the side of your pocket. Comes with a really nice bag, an extra battery, because, you know, having fun should be longer than 7 or 8 minutes. Okay. And this is the pocket drone. What's really cool about the pocket drone is you do this, you do this, you do this, you do that, and you turn it on, you put it down on the floor, and you fly it, okay? Very convenient, nice bag. It's got a HD 720p camera, okay? It's also got auto hover in a very low price point, okay? This is the type of stuff that you see in high price points, so it just sits there all by itself. Super easy to use. A lot of fun. It's got the video You can do, still shots as well as video. And, the portability and the fun. I mean, imagine, dad walking down, in the forest with his son by a lake, and he pulls out his pocket drone out of the back of his blue jeans. So, cool idea, and I think we did a pretty good job on it. So we introduced that. And then we also have...
Do you put anything on here that you want to show?
Sure, absolutely. Oh, okay, so we'll put that one there like this.
And while Sal's getting ready,
Okay.
I just want to note that the innovation that goes behind their products is something very unique. You work on the design, you work from the concept, and that's really unique in our industry. And the fact that you guys are here together makes it even more special.
Well, thank you, and we try to be as unique as possible. I mean, that's our trademark. We're not a Me Too company. We try to come up with interesting items. And, drones are cool, but things that fly, as well are really kind of cool as well. And I'm just going to show you one more, if you don't mind.
Can you
Okay.
Can you tell us where that model came from?
Sure. This is actually, there's a story here. Should I tell the quick story? So I met with these gentlemen a couple years ago, and they're the Illinois Institute of Technology's robotic department. And in conjunction with the United States Navy, it's a mouthful, they were developing a UAV, and the whole theory behind it was stealth, okay, keeping it out of radar range, okay, if you're hunting for terrorists or all that other good stuff, okay. We're talking about kids, but this is where this technology came from, and it rolls on the ground. So let's say you're in a desert environment, it's rolling on the ground, and it's got, a couple of Sidewinder missiles or a camera, so it rolls on the ground, comes up against a mountain or something, and up in the air it goes. So from that whole thing, we took it and made this, which is a lot more fun than shooting missiles, okay? And this is our new Turbo Runner. And it does basically a lot of the same things that the other one does, okay? But it's just so much more fun. Low price point, okay? It's all about kids having fun, right? And this is what this is all about. It makes, having fun really a cool experience for a kid. You don't have to worry about drones, videos, or filming your neighbor or anything else at all like that. It's well protected so you can hit it. It hardly breaks, okay? It's what it's all about. It's having fun. Hits a wall. Now, we have a bigger version that we introduced a couple years ago, and there's a picture that went viral a few days ago because it got stuck in this little girl's hair, okay? And then she's got this unbelievable look like the video you just saw before, okay? And it's like, so it's kind of cool,
Well, thank you so much. Where do you see the drone business going?
So segment drones and things that fly, right?
Okay,
when we're talking about drones, mostly everybody considers a drone something that has video on it. So we make drones up to $200. Virtual reality is the hot thing right now. We've got a couple of virtual reality drones. I might go back to what you said before as far as the FAA is concerned. 0.55 pounds. Above that, okay, you got to register, supposedly. Okay, good luck finding the guy in Kansas that bought it and didn't register. I don't think we're going to be sending the FBI out there, but you got to register anything above 0.55 pounds. Okay, 90% of what I sell, 90% probably of like what Nick at Spin Master sells, anything that flies, probably weighs less than that. So it keeps it in that, in that ballpark. But drones, what's the high end, the DJIs of this world, the $1,500 drones, all those things like the auto hover that Steven showed before on the pocket drone, that's coming down into the toy arena, which makes things a lot easier to use and so on. So.
Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right. Well, with further ado, I'd like to introduce Reyne Rice, a toy industry analyst, a woman who lives with passion, travels the world studying kids and what they play with, and keeps me informed, I have to say. Reyne, are you going to run from over there? You've got room over here if you want to join us.
Can we, do you have a...
She's actually going to give us a wrap-up of all the trends that she sees in kids and digital and tech moving forward.
I need your clicker.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, there you go.
Okay. You're ready to go. All right, so this one is forward, is this?
There's four.
The big one.
Nope, that one.
This one.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we just talked about drones a little bit. So unmanned vehicles and drones are one of the key trends from the fair this year, the CES show. And thank you for waking up the crowd, Sal. Everybody was like, is it going to come down on me?
My pleasure, Reyne.
So thank you for doing that. So I have a variety of different drones here, and some of them we talked about the pocket drone. That's Sal's from Odyssey Toys. The smallest form factor, one of the smallest form factors in a drone that is available to date. Then we also have in the middle here, let's turn this on. This middle one is the DJI drone, and this one is about a $4,000 model, so the range is very huge, and you can't get around this show without seeing somebody doing the drones, and if you really want to see them all in action, go to the South Hall, but they're amazing. This one, and that's by DJI, this one is a dancing drone it's called Lumi, and it's by Wowie, so this is being introduced this year, and it's kind of to appeal a little bit to that girl, too, who wants to fly a drone but doesn't feel like she wants something that looks really masculine. So both boys and girls will like it, but it's also appealing to a girl. There you go. They want to play with that. Okay, this one over here in the corner is also about a $1,300 drone, and it's called Hexo Plus, and you can actually take it with you, and it's a self-flying drone. So you throw it out there, and it'll follow you wherever you're going. Or you can program it in advance. If you're going to do an extreme sport bike ride or skateboarding or something, it'll film for about 15 minutes. So if you lay out what you want to do, it'll film it all. And it's amazing footage if you go to their website, what they're doing with that. So there's so many different things that are happening. These two here by Horizon Hobby are actually what they're calling FPV, which is first person view. I just learned out about them yesterday, so I just threw them in here. My presentations are always as up to the minute as we can get. So this one in the middle is more of a Maker Faire look, like you build it. It's got the carbon, the lightweight carbon, so it'll fly really well. But if you've gone to the Maker Fairs, how many people here have gone to Maker Fairs? Yeah, you'll see that they're racing these drones in different areas. So these are made specifically for racing. And then this one's more of a sleeker model. It's called the Mach 25. You probably have some of these in your range as well. Mm-hmm. So these are just a few of the unmanned vehicles and drones. There's many more out there. I'm just trying to call out some differences in what's going on, okay? Secondly, we have augmented reality, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. And all of those are being talked about here at the fair. They have new areas of the fair specifically designed to show these products and showcase them, but we've got them in the toy industry. So this one is the one we just talked about, the AirHogs Connect. This is the Spin Master product. Here it's called Rev Air, and it's by Wowie, and it's also, there's two different ways to play with it. You've got the Rev vehicles that they introduced this year, and now they've got the Rev Air. So there's a lot of battling going on, and artificial intelligence, in fact, with the vehicles. There's two vehicles that come in the set. You can race one vehicle and put the other on artificial intelligence, because you don't always have a friend to play racing and battling with. So you can battle against your artificial intelligence with that. This one is a new one by Reach. It's coming out this holiday season. These are battling bots, but there's an augmented reality component to it. There's also ways that you can go into an app and you can actually play with other people that are across the world. You can actually battle your bot with someone else online. Talking about augmented reality and virtual reality, the ViewMaster product partnered with Google this year. ViewMaster's been around over 35 years, but they reinvented it, reimagined it, and worked together with Google to come out with a really great viewer. And then, any kind of the virtual reality videos or sites that are out there, you can go and use this viewer, plus you can buy things specifically to show your kids. And then Google Glass, the Google cardboard here was handed out. Someone, David mentioned earlier, in Australia, they did it in the cereal boxes. In New York City, they put it in with the New York Times. So a lot more people now have visibility to this, and in an inexpensive way, they can start to access this technology. Digital animation tools for all ages. The one on top is Disney Imagicademy's Storymation Studio. It's for kids as young as 3. They can build their own animations very simply by just moving things around. They can play with things. They've got, like, you use a device to film it, and immediately afterwards you push the button and you get to see the video that you just made with Mickey and Minnie or some of your favorite characters. And it's very usable for a child to get that excitement of being able to create an animation. Stickbot, which is in the corner there, and those little characters in the middle. For $9.99, you get the character, you get a little frame to put them on, and lots of kids are doing that stop action animation, the kind of Gumby pokey thing. And so kids are creating their own animations, and as Tonda mentioned, they have a huge gallery. So kids are going and showing their videos and sharing what they're doing and being excited about it. And Crayola also has a Color Alive animation studio. Once again, very easy animation for kids to do on their own. This one looks really complicated, but this is really only 3 different products. Across the top is Maker Block, and they sell kits, and then they sell individual components. What I'm seeing this year is not so much that it's just a single-use product or a single maker product. They're combining a lot of different things, a lot of different instructions, so kids can branch out and do a lot of things. Make a bubble machine if they want to, make a flying vehicle, make something that's going to purify water, that uses different things. So Maker Block is a new company. They're from China. In the corner is Little Bits, and they've got their new gizmos and gadgets. And their online site is amazing because it goes through all the different things that kids can make. And for $199, you get all those components with it and lots of instructions to make things. And also online, you've got a whole community. Microduino has these individual pieces on the bottom here. These here, these are all individual pieces that are motors, and they just click together. They call them M cookies, and they just click together very easily. And on their site, you can see how they can just change from a vehicle to a fan to a radio to an activated car, remote control car, and make it work really quickly. And these are just a part of what's happening in the maker movement. There's a lot of things that are going on in the curriculums for the schools, for example. So STEM learning for kids, both all the way from the youngest kids all the way up to the teenagers. So we talked about Wonder Workshop and Make Wonder, Dash and Dot, and how easy it is. I mean, literally, if the kids can't even read, they can draw their finger on the pad, and then their robot will take that path, and they'll get to see that the whole action reaction and understand it very relevantly. Fisher-Price just introduced this Think and Learn Caterpillar, and each of those different set pieces on the caterpillar itself, each of these individual pieces here, is a programmable code. So the kids just link it together, or they take it apart. So they can go forward, go back, it'll make noises, it'll make sounds, and it comes with 8 different pieces for $50. And then you can buy individual components and reconfigure it. So for kids as young as 3, once again, it's something that the kids can do themselves. Very indestructible for kids. It's a very durable product. The one in the corner is Vex Robotics. They are the people that make hex bugs, and they also have construction kits for the older kids that they're using in the high schools now and the elementary schools. And then Lego has had for many years their We Do programming, which is the education for the elementary and the middle schools. And they've got a whole program, and they can learn how to purify water. They can learn how to make bridges. They can learn how to build things that work together or that communicate with each other. And it's in the schools, they're using it to teach kids about science in a very relevant way. And as David said earlier, I think it was David, that the more kids do things together, as a Kidzania guy, the more kids use hands-on and have an experience with something, the better it builds the pathways in their brain. Oops, wrong one. Okay, then if you add A into STEM, you've got STEAM, and that's adding the arts into the program. So Compose Yourself has a musical program that uses transparent cards that have music on them, and no matter which way you put them together, you can lay them together, or you build out a code, you put it in the computer, and it plays the music that you just put together. The composition you just made, it plays, and it was done by the Philharmonic Orchestra in London. So it sounds incredibly beautiful. And then you can just flip them over and play it backwards, and you can hear what it sounds like also. So for kids and people who don't have musical training. It's a magical way to learn about music. Guitar Hero is back. That's kind of something for the whole family. It's not necessarily STEM, but it's something that's multi-generational. And they've got it live, so now when I'm playing my guitar, you guys are giving me feedback on whether I'm doing a good job, and if I really do bad, you're telling me I'm doing a terrible job. And it's really fun, and then you've also got a component on TV that's 24-hour. In the corner is the One Smart Piano, where you can plug in your Apple device, and it'll teach you how to play. It's color-coded. It's a very simple way to learn how to play the piano, but it uses a digital component with the music. And then if you add R to STEM, you've got STREAM. So you've got STEM, STEAM, STREAM, and that adds the robotics component. Once again, Wonder Workshop. Right here is a 3D pen designed specifically for kids to use, but also adults can use it. But this is at a $49 price point. In the past, they were $200 or $100. Now they're a lot less. There's a chocolate pen, which is a decorating pen too, so you can decorate your baked goods with. That's by a company called Skyrocket Toys. Cogni Toys, I think, is still going to be coming maybe a little bit later and talking to us. And he uses the IBM Watson programming inside, so kids can ask questions, they can have communications and conversations with him, and he'll answer back, which is really exciting when you see the demonstration of it. We saw the dog, Chip, in the back. We talked about him earlier from WowWee, because he was demonstrated on the stage, and we saw the iPal. Now, this guy is also here. Is a 3D printed robot. So you can make him whatever colors you want. You make him, he's got sensors, and you can put him together and build him and add different sensors so he can move and he can interact and play with other robots that you build. So it's not just building it and 3D printing it, you go through the whole process. Toys to Life category has been around now since October 2011. That's when Skylanders first came out. And it takes the hybrid gaming. So whether you have an Xbox or a PlayStation at home, it doesn't matter. The kids can still play together, and it takes the physical toy and brings it to life in a video game. The one here, Lego Dimensions, is new because you actually build it. You build the set, the portal with your Legos, and then you go into the video game and play. And you can play with a lot of different characters also. Batman can play with the guys from Lord of the Rings, et cetera. Skylanders is now three-dimensional. It has added vehicles to the line this year so that you can fly underwater, in the air, and on the ground, and any of the previous characters can race. Disney Infinity added Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, so a lot of things there that now you can add to your world. These little guys here are called Tube Heroes. They're actually the action figures that are the big YouTube fans. YouTube stars, so the ones that are communicating to the kids, that get millions and millions of kids looking at their views. Now they can start collecting action figures of that. And then Space Hawk is something that Ravensburger has now gone digital, and they use a toy that you can fly around and you put your game in it, you get haptic feeling, and you go on missions. So that's something new, that's from Germany. Lastly is wearables and motion and gesture control toys. So Moff was up earlier, and they showed you their band and how they're working with Pac-Man now. And that comes to life. You can play single player or double, 2 kids at a time. Sphero, which was the BB-8 droid, was a huge success this year when it came out. It was like one of the hardest products to find. Now they're adding the component of having a wrist. So you can just use your wrist to activate it. You know, forward, back, turn in circles, do all the different things. But you don't have to have an eye device or a smart device to make it work. And then we talked about Chip 2. So those are the motion control, and then we also had Gazin 2, which talked about motion control.
Thank you, Reyne, for
Sure.
the wrap-up.
I know, it was kind of quick.
Wow. That was quick. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here, and thank you, these 3 and the other 3, for this panel. One, again, I just wanted to mention, it seems like all the toys and all the devices, everything is smart, connected, no boundaries between digital and physical. It seems to prevail, and there's always a learning component to everything that's been on this stage today.
And one of the nice things is that now, when you have technology in a toy, it basically enhances the play pattern. In the past, when it first started coming into toys technology, it would sometimes overwhelm the play pattern, or it would be a watch me toy. Most everything now is more interactive.
Right. And That's
The
really,
real-
really important.
It's important for the kids and for
It is.
parents
It
who
builds
wanna
that
play with their
relationship
kids.
that we're all
Yes.
talking about that
Right.
kids want. And we do have to leave the stage
One-
right now.
One quick thing, the real challenge for the future that's the opportunity is to take traditional play patterns that kids are used to doing and enhance them by linking the digital and not replace them.
Right.
To
Definitely.
make them better. And I think that's where the future and all the growth in the industry is going to be.
Absolutely.
And join us at Digital Kids in New York to dive a little bit deeper into making of the products
And come
take
to the
some of these
cocktail
off the
party and play with some of this stuff.
tonight for the Cappies.
Thank you.
I'll help you
Thank
carry
you.
some of these off the stage.
Thank you, Tonda. Wow.